Can a narcissistic person change is what a lot of people would like to know. And what we have to remember is it's a hard enough job changing who we are as a person. We cannot change anybody else. They have to be open and willing to change themselves for the better. You cannot change them. Changing your behavior to suit them, walking on eggshells around them, only changes them temporarily while they're getting their needs met by you. And it's all a form of manipulation so that you serve them as they want. They don't change for the better. They change in order to condition you to get their needs met by you. So just why don't they change? Narcissistic people are characterized with traits such as exploitation, a lack of empathy, a need for admiration, a grandiose sense of self-importance. They're looking to do things to get their own personal needs met for their own personal gains. They have that overly manipulative and exploitative personality where they're looking to use people to better themselves. They will walk all over people to get ahead of people. They don't want to put the hard work in because they don't believe they should have to. They believe that other people have taken things away from them. And these characteristics, these personality traits are deeply ingrained into their personality. How it got there? Research, there's so many different reasons as to why someone might potentially end up being a narcissistic person, from their upbringing to childhood trauma to not having the correct boundaries. However, there is people who have a scenario such as childhood trauma who grow up to be non-narcissistic. So it's still not an excuse. It might be a reason behind them developing narcissism, but it's not to excuse their behavior, because there's plenty of people who can have similar experiences, because we do all have different lives, we do all think slightly differently. So people can have similar experiences, but they grow up wanting to help people, not hurt people. Narcissistic people grow up wanting to punish and hurt people. As it's deeply ingrained into their personality, it's very difficult for them to change, because it's fundamentally who they are as a person. They have that lack of empathy. So they have an inability to care about how their behavior affects others. And as they lack the ability to care about how their behavior affects others, there's nothing stopping them from doing the things that they do to other people, usually because you care about your partner, your parents, your children, your friends. It stops you from doing certain behaviours that would potentially hurt them. As narcissistic people can't relate to that, they don't see the issue in it. They have the self-serving empathy. So if someone was to treat them in a way they treat others, in a hurtful way, they then become offended with their double standards. They are willing to exploit people to get their needs met. And with that lack of empathy, there's no low they won't go to exploit people to get their needs met. They're very envious of people, and jealousy is a toxic emotion as it is. And you'll often notice with a narcissistic person, and it is a part of their gaslighting, they will go all out to provoke feelings of jealousy, bitterness, resentment, anger within you. And then when these feelings come to the surface and you try to approach them, or you explode because of the buildup of the emotional stress that you're under, they go right ahead and accuse you of being the jealous one, the bitter one, the crazy one, the angry one. And they play the victim to the reality that they created, to the feelings that they provoked within you. Yet, if they're just simply not getting their own way because they feel entitled, they get offended, they rage out at you, and that is also your fault for not giving them what they wanted. They need that excessive admiration. So they're willing to exploit people. They're willing to play the victim. They're willing to lie and exaggerate and put on that grandiose, charismatic charm in order to get the attention they believe they're entitled to. They're willing to ruin special occasions because they're envious of the other person's happiness. They're envious of the other person's success, and they want the attention back onto themselves. They are preoccupied with getting their own needs met. So therefore they're very resistant to change. They don't see themselves as the issue. They don't believe that they're the problem. They believe that they're perfect. They believe that they're flawless. If anything's not going their way, they believe that you're the one that's standing in their way. You're the one who's causing their problems. You're the one who's the issue. You're the one who needs to change to serve them. And as they can usually manipulate it so that people do change to serve them, and when that person has changed to serve the narcissist then treats that person better. The narcissist then believes that, see, you're the one that needs to change, not me. I'm not doing anything wrong. Whenever you confront a narcissist about their manipulation, they're going to lie, deny, blame shift. They are going to gaslight. They are going to deflect. They're going to change the situation. They're going to go all out to exploit people by playing the victim and scapegoating somebody else in order to get away with their behaviour. And this works for them. So they change temporarily to meet a need of their own. So they might come at you with that false apology or those false promises of change in order to manipulate you so that they can extract what they want from you. And as soon as they've extracted what they want from you, they revert into that hurtful person again, that intermittent reinforcement where when things are going their way, they treat you well, and when things aren't going their way, they treat you terribly, yet they blame you for why they're treating you terribly, and they lack the empathy to care for how that behaviour affects you. They lack the self-awareness. They're arrogant. They believe that they are in the right. They believe that you're the one who is the problem, while they'll often turn around and say, I'm sorry, I forgot you were perfect, whenever they make a mistake, because it's okay for them to make a mistake. However, if you make any, they're going to bring these up at each and every opportunity to bring you crashing down. They are arrogant. They believe that they are always right, and they are going to go all out to prove themselves right, and they're going to go all out to win, and to win at all costs to you. So they lack that self-awareness. Whether it comes from intentional behaviour, where they're seeking to punish you and hurt you, they still rewrite it in their own mind as to why you deserved it in some way, so that they can play the martyr, the hero in the story. They rewrite it as to why you deserved it. So if it's intentionally, they still find a way to excuse their toxic behaviour. Instinctively, it's instinctively done in order to protect themselves, and they still lack the empathy to care about you. They can't recognise the pain that they've caused you. So when it comes to a narcissist, they have that self-serving empathy in order to manipulate so that they can get their needs met. So when it comes to changing, they don't change who they are. Those characteristics, such as exploitation, a lack of empathy, a willingness to exploit others, arrogance, the need for admiration, those sorts of traits is fundamentally who they are as a person, and their behaviour is based off those characteristics. So when you're dealing with somebody who is envious of others, highly exploitative, lacks the empathy to care about others, has a sense of entitlement that they deserve that excessive attention, and are arrogant enough to believe that they are always right. These are the kinds of people who aren't going to change. These are the kinds of people where you need to recognise that that is who they are as a person, and they only change temporarily to get something from you. That you're the one that is going to be forever hurt by their behaviour, and they're not going to recognise the pain they've caused you. They'll often stand there with a smug look on their face instead and blame you. You have to recognise that it's not your fault, it's not your doing, it's who they are as a person. It's very difficult not to take things personally when dealing with a narcissist, because their attacks are going to be very personal, because this is how they get you to react to them, and they can use your reactions then against you. Instead of trying to look as to whether a narcissist can change, what we have to do is recognise that we need to change direction away from them safely, because there's no low someone without empathy will go to hurt or punish you when they feel like they're losing control over you. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the description of the video for those reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm sure this channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out. A Narcissists Handbook, which is a self-help guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people for those who aren't able to go no contact. These books are available on Amazon, and I shall link those into the description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.